Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I've got loads more exciting videos coming. So today I'm going to be talking to you about London Fashion Week. I got back 2 weeks ago from London Fashion Week and I have actually done a vlog, so make sure you go and check that out. I'll link it somewhere, probably down below. But today I'm going to be doing a London Fashion Week Q&A. So over on Instagram, I actually asked if you guys had any questions about London Fashion Week, and not gonna lie, you actually kind of did. You had a lot to ask. And to be fair, it's a very confusing event to be at if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what it actually is about and what it entails. Especially with regards to saying getting invited, like what you actually do, how you eat, how you drink, what freebies do you get, what's the authority of seating like, that sort of thing. So I've got a few questions here that you guys have asked me and I'm going to try and answer them to the best of my ability. I obviously have only been there for 3 times. This was my 3rd London Fashion Week, but I do feel like I have a bit of an insight into the event and I really enjoy it. But for me, coming in as a complete newbie, trying to get adults, well, at the time that I first went I was a child, I was 17, to trying to get adults to like trust me to be able to get invitations to shows was actually kind of hard. So I'm going to go through how exactly I get the invites, like the process of doing that. This is definitely not something that I can guarantee that everyone can do. You do actually need to be sort of in the fashion industry or do something. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I like fashion, I wear fashionable clothing. Unfortunately, you do have to have a profession, and most of the time they do actually ask for you to have a following of some sort, whether that be on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. So that's one of the reasons why I got in. The first question that I'm going to answer is basically there's like 2 questions, but they're kind of relevant to each other and they're very common questions that I always get asked, and that's, how do you go about getting invited to the events? Do you need to apply? And also, how can I get a seat invitation to a show? So first of all, it's about getting invited and do you need to apply. So the London Fashion Week Council, which I think they're like something else, they're like the London Council or something, they have a section on the website which you can actually apply to get accreditation for the week. So you get like a little like red badge, I think it was this year, and you basically show this at all the shows and they'll let you in, and they won't give you the best priority seating. They'll just be like, oh, okay, we know what you're doing. But I have actually found out that for some shows you actually need an invitation as well, but these are for the on schedule shows. So there's difference. There's off-schedule shows and there's on-schedule shows. So the on-schedule ones are the ones that are on the website that are very high profile. So they'll be like Burberry, like Victoria Beckham, those shows. So obviously they're extremely hard to get invitations to, but you never know, like it's worth applying to them. And then there's off-schedule shows, which are the ones that are held at Freemasons Hall, and they're just like the up-and-coming designers. They're really good. Honestly, I love those shows because I feel like they're actually more diverse and they give you just like such a good all-round experience of fashion. And it's it's very expressive fashion. I'll give you that. Like, I don't know if you've seen my vlog yet, but some of the fashion there, I was like, whoa, I don't think I could wear that. But still, like, you know, it's really great to see like the up-and-coming designers, who the new Victoria Beckham's gonna be. You never know. So in terms of getting invitations, you actually need to apply to the brand's PR company. And generally, there is a list of PR names and contacts that is normally put up on the London Fashion Week website about 2 weeks before. Basically what I end up doing is going through the emails and I select the shows that I would like to get an invite to, and I send them an email being like, this is who I am, can you accommodate me? And generally most of the time they come back to me and they're like, no. And I'm like, fair enough, I am 19 and a very small fashion and travel blogger, so I totally understand it. You've got to be open to rejections on these things, but you know. So yeah, I would recommend applying to get invitations, but only if you really have like a proper profession to do it, otherwise they'll just ignore you. Like, the fashion industry is quite cutthroat and you need to be on it. You need to be like, yeah, I know this person, you know, this is why I should be doing it, I have this following. So you can't just apply just randomly out of the blue because you felt like it, you know. like they're not going to take you. There'll be somebody else that is more qualified and will bring them better publicity. So moving on to the how can I get a seat invitation to a show, they're on the off-schedule ones. If you show these passes, which this year I actually got my accreditation for the first time, which was insane, and I didn't realise this until the last blooming show, and I'm so annoyed because it would have saved me so much hassle. But if you show the pass, then you get let through as like a VIP or like, you know, priority. So if you get priority, then you get like seats and stuff, but everyone else just goes in the queue or like lines up a VIP or whatever. So it's pretty, you know, you have to be kind of on it if you want to get to a seat. I would recommend getting that early or being in the queue first, just because then you're more likely to get a seat. For the on-schedule shows and for the biggest shows, you're less likely to get a seat unless you're like either like the editor of Cosmopolitan or like Leonie Han. You know, like some of the seats are actually quite limited, but a lot of the time actually I've had a few standing tickets and I've just gone up to the PR people and been like, look, are there any free seats? And they've been like, yeah, go sit over there. Like they're really nice people. Like don't be scared to just ask sometimes, and the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no, you're just going to have to stand, and that's fine. I personally don't feel like there's any difference between standing and sitting other than like a sort of social ranking hierarchy thing about, you know, oh, I'm really important, I want to sit. And like I have seen like at London Fashion Week there was a guy that like really kicked up a fuss about not being seated, and I was like, but he was 5 minutes late to the show and so was I, and I was like, I'm not that bothered. Like at least you're seeing the show. There's people outside waiting who aren't going to get in, so feel like privileged that you even got an invitation and you're actually coming. So leading on from that, another question, did you get food while you're there? So they do have a lot of freebies sort of floating around, but they're very like small bits. So like there's like the occasional packet of crisps or like some chocolate bits. It's basically whichever companies are sponsoring the event, and that's really great and all, but that's not proper food. I end up actually, I know this is really silly, but I end up most of the time just not eating that much, just because I'm literally like running from show to show to show. I have like a show each hour and all the shows run late, and then you're just running to the next one and you like forget, which it brings me into another point. Always bring water with you. Jesus Christ, I always forget this, and it's so important because you don't realise how dehydrated you're getting, and then they offer you like champagne and then you're just there like after like one glass. So yeah, just remember that. In answer to that, no, you don't get any set food as in like a meal, but you might get like snacks. Best and worst thing about it. So probably the best thing is meeting all the people there. It's an amazing networking place. I always take about 50 like business cards with me and I come back with 5, which is insane. So this fashion week I met people in PR, I met celebrities, I met photographers. It's just an amazing space and time to get great contacts. So now I feel like when I want to expand this, like my influencing, I have like people that I know that can help me along my journey, which is really, really great. So if you're wanting to do the same thing that I'm doing, then I'd really recommend that you go to events like this and just honestly sit down in the event and just speak to everyone that's around you. That's what I did every single time. I would sit down and I'd speak to the person this side of me and this side of me. I give them both my business cards regardless of what they did. Like I just make friends. You just always say hi. That's one thing I've learned, is always say hi, because you never know who you're sitting next to. I was actually sat next to, any Holby City fans, I was sat next to Christian Veit, I think his name is. Yeah, at a show. I think he was in Holby City for a year and a half or something. So if you watch that, that was quite cool. I just sat next to him and was like, cool. He was also in Game of Thrones. That's also pretty cool. I'd say the worst thing about Fashion Week is actually, again, probably some of the people. I've had a few people that have been very snobby and a bit like up themselves just when they're in the environment, because they think that they're too good to talk to you. And that I actually find like quite like upsetting for someone like me. I'm so friendly and talkative, and when I'm like, oh hi, like let's talk and get to know each other, and then yeah, they're just like, so I'm just like, those sorts of people I just don't really want to connect with, to be honest. But the people there are the best and the worst things about Fashion Week, to be honest. Like, You meet some people who are absolutely lovely and some people who just don't want to know you. Which is fine, I guess. You can't make friends with everyone. Not everyone's gonna love you, but you can try. The next one is regarding the clothing. Do you regret your style choices from past fashion weeks? And potentially yes. So fashion week, the clothing, one thing I would advise is you wear the wackiest, weirdest thing out of your wardrobe, because ultimately you want to look crazy and you want to get papped. That's like the aim. Well, that's like always my aim. I just love getting papped. I'm just like in front of the camera, literally. So yeah, on my first ever fashion week, I went in I can pretty much insert a photo here. This is what I went in, and like the clothing was quite cheap. I bought it from like Misguided. I was wearing fishnet tights, which wasn't the most, I mean it's like trendy I guess, and it's like fashionable I guess, but it's not really fashion week. Fashion week's very much about like high-end designers, and you don't have to like wear designer like and spend loads of money and stuff. Like I mean I rented my outfits from well not rented, but I loaned them from PR companies. But you just need to look like well presented, you know, and you have to be fashionable. This is your like one opportunity to get really out there, so you wear the wackiest, weirdest things ever. And then on the fashion week that I went to before this, I wore this, which looks like my grand's curtains, but it did get me papped. And it was actually quite cool for the time that I was wearing it. I've still got it in my wardrobe. Don't really know what to do with it. If anyone wants it, please DM me, because I'm never gonna wear it again. That's the problem. You end up buying all these wacky pieces and you never end up wearing them again. So yeah, I did potentially, I wouldn't say regret. Regret's a strong word, but I would maybe, you know, it's a past experience. I've learned from it. So this fashion week, I was really, really pleased with my outfits. These are my outfits here. And that was because I loaned some of the pieces from PR companies. I had such a good time wearing them. I got papped loads. It was really cool. Really enjoyed my time. And it was awesome to be able to wear the designer and watch their show. Like that's really cool. So that's the last sort of serious question, and then my lovely friend Lauren, who came with me this year, went, how are your feet? And I've got to say, guys, wear comfy shoes. Jesus Christ. We had blisters which look like a sixth toe. Like, honestly, it's terrible because you're just like running and walking and constantly, you never sit down. You're just constantly on your feet. So wear comfy shoes. We actually both wore boots, and that was really good and really comfy. But I would maybe recommend wearing trainers if you can, or just at least something that you know that you can actually walk around in for days and days and days and days and days, because that's what it feels like. So anyway, guys, that's the end of my Q&A here. I'm actually testing out a new background. This is like another section of my room. I don't know, what do you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comments, because I feel like I need a regular filming spot and I just don't know where that is yet. But anyway, if you have any more questions about London Fashion Week, then don't feel afraid to message me. My DMs are always open. I look at every single DM, so yeah, just drop me a message on there. It was lovely to have you guys here again. I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel, please. Let's try and hit 100 subscribers. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, thanks. I will see you on the next video.